Well, good morning, my friend. Welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. Friday morning, going to be a sunny one here in the Oklahoma City area and a warm one. I'm getting over the 90-degree mark today is what they're saying. And whether it is or not, I don't know, but I always like the warmer weather. Looking forward to a good weekend here at our church as we're in the middle, as we're getting to going into the summer months and second week of the second Sunday of summertime. And of course, at Maranatha Baptist Church, church members, let's be faithful to church. Remember, we don't have a summer slump. We have a summer jump and want to see the church continue to grow during the summertime. And I'd encourage you, push for it. Hey, don't just settle for failure in the summertime. Let's look forward to God growing the church in the summertime. You keep pushing in the summertime, the fall comes, and all of a sudden you see the results of all the pushing during the summertime. So we've got to keep it up. Let's stay faithful. Let's not give up right now. Let's have a great summertime. And I would love to see churches all over the world push during the summertime, and let's not give up. Let's do what we can to see souls saved. Well, today I want to talk to you about opposition against opposition. In Revelation chapter 12 and verse 6, the scripture says, "And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days." Now, what should have been a time of joy became a time of opposition. The woman brought forth a man child, and the joy that should have been the course for the woman, but instead she faced opposition. Now, the answer to this woman's opposition was, and there was war. The woman may have fled, but she fought the opposition with opposition. The woman is the local church. We expect Satan to oppose the local church, but the local church has to remember that opposition will come if it's doing anything for God. Opposition always brings pressure and is uncomfortable. But the fact that Satan is opposing you means that you're doing something for God. A church that does anything for God, it's going to face the opposition, but that does not mean that we're just to roll over and die. The best way, and this is what I've learned in life, the best way to face opposition as a church or as an individual is to face that opposition with opposition. Now, let me share a few ways what I'm talking about in this area. First, don't roll over and die. So don't surrender just because opposition comes. A great character trait missing today is a response to fight opposition with opposition. We should never surrender just because oppositions come. Don't go run and hide. No matter how big or how little it is, the best way to face opposition is by not surrendering. We can't just go and roll over and die just because opposition comes. It's going to come, but you can't. But you just say, okay, I'm not going to roll over and die. Second, face opposition with soul winning. You'll notice in verse 11 that they overcame Satan. How? By the blood of the Lamb. So one of the greatest responses to opposition is soul winning. Soul winning takes your eyes off yourself and your problems. It takes your eyes off your problems, and it puts you on the offensive against Satan. Now, this is what I've learned. Just because opposition comes does not mean we have to surrender. It means we need to go soul winning. Whenever opposition comes my way, I tell you what I do. I take it as a call from God to go grab some tracts, and then I go soul winning. And by me leading people to Christ, I show I'm not going to roll over and die. And I'm going on the offenses. I'm not going to be a defensive, get this now, Christian. I want to be an offensive Christian that opposes Satan by how? By leading people to Jesus Christ and trying to get fruit that remains. Now, that's critical. My friend, that's what we've got to do. You've got to oppose. How? Through soul winning. So the third, face opposition through prayer. So you cannot face opposition and win without getting God's power to help you in prayer. Prayer gives us the strength to face the opposition with the opposition. Prayer challenges us to keep going because we've tapped in to God's power that gives us the strength to oppose instead of quit. So what do I do? Okay, so I'd say, okay, I'm not going to roll over and die. What do I do? I go soul winning. What do I do? I get on my face before God and I tell God about the opposition and I say, God, I need your strength. So then the fourth thing I do is you face opposition by doing right. Verse 11 says, and they overcame Satan by the word of their testimony. Now, you've got to continue doing right with opposition. Don't fight opposition with the same sinful tools that opposition fights you. But let your opposition know that their opposition to you doing right will not stop you from doing right. Your testimony will do more to help you to oppose opposition than quitting or compromising to live a life of sin or live in the world. So I've just determined, okay, this is how I'm going to face it. I'm not going to roll over and die. How am I going to face it? I'm going to go soul winning. How am I going to face it? I want to get on my face before God and pray. How am I going to face it? I just keep on doing right. Keep standing for the King James Bible. Keep being faithful to church. Keep going soul winning. Keep running the bus route. Keep teaching the Sunday school class. Don't compromise my sins. Keep my hair short. Get the jewelry off, men. Ladies, put the dresses on and take the pants off. And you keep doing right. Don't you go to that world just because opposition comes. Fifth, face opposition with faith works. Verse 11 says, they love not their lives unto the death. So in other words, they stepped out by faith and opposed opposition by attempting greater things for God. Now, when opposition comes, you step out by faith and attempt something greater for God. See, don't surrender to opposition. So what you ought to do is say, okay, now Satan's coming against me. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I want to fight him by doing something great for God. I want to step out by faith. I want to attempt something greater than myself. Now, that's what's going to drive you to prayer, by the way, my friend. So you attempt something greater for God. So, well, if he's going to come after me, he's got to punch in at me with this opposition. I want to get a punch back. How? Go soul winning. How? Do something great by faith. I'm telling you, my friend, we can't just surrender. We've got to keep on going. Hey, where's that backbone inside of believers? That drive, that grit inside of believers that says, I'm not going to quit. Oppositions come. Well, that means that I'm doing something that brought the opposition something good. Satan's recognized me. So I'm not going to roll over and die. I'm going to grab some tracks, go soul winning and fight him. Then I'm going to get on my face and say, God, I need your help. I'm not going to consider compromising. And I'm going to say, you know what? I want to do something bigger. I'm just going to hair lip the devil. And I'm going to do what I can just to get him upset more. By how? Doing something greater by faith. He's got to learn. Every time he attacks, I do something greater. Let me tell you something. When Satan sees that every time, now that doesn't mean he's going to stop. But if he sees it every time he opposes me and every time he does something against me, I'm going to go soul winning and see people saved. I'm going to keep on praying. I'm not going to surrender doing right, and I'm going to attempt something greater. He's going to realize when he attacks me, he's going to lose. He's going to lose. Now, the problem with most believers is he wins because they just go back and they die, and they roll over and say, oh, that's too hard. No, you can't do that. You just got to determine, okay, let's face opposition with opposition. And when we do that, oh, my friend, we could do something great for God. How? Let the opposition be the catalyst to oppose Satan and do something greater for God. Well, my friend, I hope this is a great help to you today. Now, let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.